Welcome, history seekers. Imagine a fiercely independent woman who turned her back on the rigid confines of British high society to forge an extraordinary path in the mystical Middle East. Today, we unravel the captivating tale of Lady Hester Stanhope, the aristocratic adventurer who became a powerful figure among desert tribes, defying every expectation. The story of Lady Hester Stanhope is not one of inherited crowns or prophetic pronouncements, but of a formidable spirit refusing the gilded cage of aristocratic expectation. It is an epic of radical reinvention, a defiance of Victorian stricture, and an audacious journey into the heart of the Ottoman Levant, where a British noblewoman transformed herself into a revered chieftain, a political oracle, and a legendary figure whose shadow stretched across deserts and drew kings to her door. She was not born a queen, but in the sun-drenched, rugged mountains of Lebanon, she became one in all but name. Hester Lucy Stanhope was born on March 12, 1776, into the very pinnacle of British aristocracy. Her father was Charles Stanhope, 3rd Earl Stanhope, a brilliant but eccentric radical politician and inventor, grandson of the powerful Earl of Chesterfield. Her mother was Lady Louisa Grenville, daughter of Prime Minister George Grenville. From birth, Hester was steeped in the volatile currents of British political and intellectual life. She was the niece of William Pitt the Younger, the formidable Prime Minister, under whom she would later serve as his official hostess and private secretary. Her early life was marked by a fierce independence that chafed against the rigid conventions of her class. She found formal education tedious and social graces restrictive. She possessed a sharp intellect, a quick wit, and a famously imperious manner, often clashing with her eccentric father. By her early 20s, she had emerged as a striking, if unconventional, beauty, possessing a powerful presence and piercing blue eyes. From 1803 to 1806, she became the indispensable hostess for her uncle, William Pitt the Younger, effectively acting as the first female chief of staff at 10 Downing Street. She managed his household, vetted his visitors, and often sat in on crucial political discussions, gaining an unparalleled insight into the machinery of power. This period exposed her to the highest levels of political intrigue and diplomacy, yet also to profound personal loss. Pitt's death in 1806, followed by the deaths of her brothers and her fiancé, Sir John Moore, in quick succession, shattered her world and left her adrift. The £1,200 annual pension from the Crown, though generous, felt like a gilded cage. England, with its polite society and suffocating expectations, suddenly felt too small, too constrained for her restless spirit. She longed for a stage grander, wilder, and utterly her own. In 1810, driven by a profound sense of disillusionment and an insatiable yearning for adventure, Lady Hester embarked on a journey to the Ottoman Levant. She was accompanied by a small retinue, including her physician, Dr. Charles Merrion, whose detailed memoirs would later provide invaluable insights into her extraordinary life. She shed the trappings of British high society, exchanging corsets for loose Eastern garments and polite drawing rooms for the vast, unforgiving expanses of the Ottoman Empire. Her initial travels took her through Greece, Turkey, and Egypt. It was during this period that her transformation truly began. She encountered various mystical traditions, including astrology and numerology, which profoundly resonated with her already unconventional mind. She adopted Eastern dress and began to immerse herself in local customs. The pivotal moment came in 1812, when a shipwreck off the coast of Rhodes forced her to abandon her European wardrobe. This symbolic shedding of her past marked her full embrace of the East. She adopted men's Turkish clothing, including a turban and a sword, cutting a striking figure that commanded attention and respect. Her journey continued through Syria, Palestine, and finally to the rugged, remote mountains of Lebanon, specifically to the village of Jaun, where she would establish her final, extraordinary domain. Her reputation preceded her, and grew exponentially with each daring act. In 1813, she undertook a perilous journey to the ancient ruins of Palmyra, a feat previously unattempted by any European woman. She rode boldly into the desert, accompanied by Bedouin tribes, earning their profound respect for her courage and disdain for conventional female roles. The Bedouin hailed her as Queen Hester, believing she possessed supernatural powers. She embraced prophecies that linked her to a future messianic age, believing herself destined to play a key role in the return of a new Messiah. She cultivated an image as a seer, an oracle who possessed profound spiritual insights. She began to speak less of politics and more of destiny, relying on astrological charts and mystical interpretations. Her sheer force of personality and astute understanding of regional power dynamics quickly earned her influence among the warring Druze and Maronite chieftains of Lebanon. She arbitrated disputes, offered strategic advice, and leveraged her European connections to gain political sway. She received envoys from local potentates, Turkish pashas, and even European consuls, treating them all with a blend of imperiousness and insightful wisdom. She smoked a pipe, rode a horse like a man, and dispensed justice from her fortified compound. Her utter disregard for social norms, combined with her fierce intelligence and deep pockets, initially, fascinated and intimidated everyone she met. She surrounded herself with a large household of local retainers, many fiercely loyal, others wary of her mercurial temperament. By 1820, Lady Hester had settled permanently in a fortified compound at Jaun, in the foothills of Mount Lebanon, overlooking the Mediterranean. This became her private kingdom, a blend of a medieval fortress and an eccentric salon. Here, she reigned supreme, living a life of self-imposed isolation and absolute authority. She governed her household and the surrounding villages with an iron fist, dispensing justice, mediating disputes, and punishing transgressions with a severity that reflected the local customs she had so fully adopted. She became known for her generosity to those in need, but also for her terrifying temper and her ruthless dismissal of anyone who displeased her. Her prophetic beliefs intensified. She kept 2 Arabian mares, one for herself and one for the Messiah, whom she believed would arrive soon. She interpreted dreams, consulted star charts, and communicated with what she believed were spiritual entities. Her compound became a destination for pilgrims and seekers, both local and European, who sought her wisdom and prophetic insights. Her lavish lifestyle, her grand pronouncements, and her inability to manage money led to a steady decline in her finances. She continually borrowed against her remaining pension and eventually plunged into deep debt, often struggling to pay her retainers. This financial desperation, however, only seemed to heighten her sense of defiant independence, as she refused to compromise her lifestyle or her beliefs. Her increasingly strained relations with the British government, particularly over her refusal to pay her debts and her sheltering of fugitive individuals, led to threats of cutting off her pension. Lady Hester, ever defiant, refused to yield, seeing any attempt to control her as an assault on her independence. She saw herself as above mere British law, a sovereign in her own right. In her later years, her health deteriorated, and she became increasingly isolated and reclusive. She rarely left her compound, relying on her network of local contacts and a few loyal servants. Her eccentricity deepened, yet her mind remained sharp, and her grip on power within her small domain remained unchallenged. Lady Hester Stanhope died in her compound at Jaun on June 23, 1839, at the age of 63, alone except for a few loyal servants. She left behind a trail of unpaid debts, a testament to her magnificent disregard for material constraints. Her death marked the end of an extraordinary experiment in self-creation and defiance. Her legacy, however, continues to captivate. Lady Hester Stanhope remains an iconic figure of female empowerment and radical independence. She shattered the restrictive gender roles of her era, demonstrating that a woman could not only survive but thrive and command respect in the traditionally male-dominated, perilous world of the Ottoman Levant. She achieved a unique status as a de facto power broker in the turbulent Middle East, bridging the divide between European and Eastern cultures in a way few others dared. Her refusal to conform to either European or typical Eastern female roles made her a truly singular figure. Her life inspired countless romanticized accounts and became a touchstone for Orientalist fascination in Europe. She was seen as the ultimate exotic adventurer, a woman who bent destiny to her will. Her story offers a fascinating lens through which to view the cultural clashes and misunderstandings between the burgeoning European empires and the declining Ottoman world. Her ability to navigate and manipulate both sides speaks volumes about her extraordinary intellect and force of personality. Lady Hester Stanhope was not born to lead armies or rule nations in the conventional sense. She was a woman who dared to invent her own destiny, trading the drawing rooms of London for the dusty majesty of the desert, where she carved out a kingdom of influence and belief. She died largely forgotten by the European society she abandoned, but in the annals of extraordinary lives, and in the enduring mystique of the Middle East, Queen Hester remains an unforgettable, formidable legend, a testament to the boundless power of a truly independent spirit.